to be my authentic self. No matter what people say, you're going to see the God in me, because guess what? That's who I am.
That's who you are.
I also need you to understand, when we tell people to put on a game face, you know what you're telling them? You're telling them to wear a mask, because you can't achieve a goal without a mask.
My God.
That you can't get to what it is that God has ordained for you to do unless you have on a mask. That's not what it's about wearing a mask. I don't know how many of you in here are married, but if you are married, at one point in time you did date. And when you were dating, what did you do? Were you being somebody that that person was looking for and wanting, as opposed to being who you truly are? As the young people like to say, is that you're dating my representative. That's a mask. We need to remove that mask. We have to learn how to be our authentic self. My goodness. A lot of times we find ourselves doing these things because we want to be accepted. All of us, at the very core of who we are, want to be accepted by someone. God designed us that way. There's been many, many studies that's been done that state that we all want to be accepted. But are we willing to be accepted at the cost of losing ourselves?
Wow.
My Lord.
Is that really worth it?
No, not at all.
It's only worth it if you don't know who you are. You gotta know who you are. I can guarantee you, if I went around this room right now and I asked everybody, who are you? You know what I would hear? I'm a CEO. I'm a mother. I'm a wife. I'm a lawyer. That's what I would hear. But think about that. What are all those things that I just stated?
Titles.
Those are titles. That's not who you are. When somebody asks you a question about who you are, it's not about what you do, but who are you? At the very core of your soul, who are you? Do you know? Do you know who you are? My goodness. You know, it's so hard in this day and time to be able to move around and begin to know who we are, or walk into our purpose. And you know why? It's because we have to fight through so many voices of our past. We have to fight through those voices of our caregiver, whether it's our mother, whether it was our teacher or our mentor or just a friend. Some people have said things about us that really hurt us to our core. And we carry those things throughout life, not thinking we can be who God has ordained us to be. But what I have to say to you is that move beyond the voice.
Yes.
Get to know who you are.
Yes.
People would like to say that, oh, I know who I am. That's easy to say. It is so easy to say that I know who I am. But at the end of the day, do you really know who you are? There again, I told you I like to ask a lot of questions, because that's just what I do. I want to try to provoke you to thought. I really want you to think about it. And then the question I have to ask you is this: what mask are you wearing today?
Wow.
What mask did you bring in here with you today? You can choose to be your authentic self. It's okay. It's really okay to be you. Because God made only one person. One you. There's nobody who can be like you. They can try to emulate you. They can try to pretend to be you. They can dress like you. But guess what? At the end of the day, there's only one you. Be you. Be proud of who you are. I don't want you guys to think that I'm standing here before you like I have it all together. I do not. But I know who I am, and I'm okay with me.
Yes. Yes.
Flaws and all. There's still a work that has to be done in me, and I know what that work is. And I'm working on it day by day. But you gotta be okay with you. Removing the mask isn't as simple as, I'm just gonna take this mask off, put it down, You know, I'm going to take the mask of being strong, and now I'm going to be vulnerable. Now I want to be transparent. Now I want to share. It's not that easy. And if you think it's that easy, it's because maybe you have sold and bought yourself a lie. Because we tell ourselves lies all the time. In order to feel better about who we are, in order to feel better about where we're going. It's so much easier for some people to live the lie and to wear the mask than to deal with those masks. So what are you going to do? Are you going to be like Sheila? Are you going to cover your face and close your eyes and act like it doesn't exist? Or are you going to deal with your challenges? Are you going to deal with your mask? I told you earlier that your mask, we wear masks for various reasons. Some of us have gone through things in our life that has really hurt us to our core. We've been violated. We've been talked about. We've heard that we're not going to be anything. And for some of us, we may have had a fairy tale story that you're the princess and everything is going to be okay with you. That's not my story.
I know that's right.
That's not my story. I want you to know this, is that I stand here today to let you know that at one point in time in my life, I was a chameleon. I was being whoever wanted me to be. So if you wanted somebody to be happy today, that's me. I'm the happy girl. If you wanted somebody to like blue, I was liking blue. I was liking green. Whatever that person needed. I was always taking care of other people. Being strong for everybody else. Taking care of everybody else. But not taking care of me. Isn't it amazing that we make sure we dress this up? Our outside.
That's right.
We make sure we get our hair done.
Yeah.
We go get our facials. We get our nails done, and we have our stand-in weekly massages. But what about the inside?
Why?
What are we doing about that? What about our mental status? What about it? Why is it that we don't take time to take care of us? Self-care is so important in any and everything that we do.
Yeah.
I tell you what, in my own relationships, they seem to be hard and rigid. And you want to know why? It was because I was being a chameleon. I didn't know who I was. So it was hard. It wasn't easy. Do anybody in here understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Amen.
I finally said, enough is enough. I can no longer do this anymore. And I came to my own self-realization that I had a choice. I had a choice to stay in the place that I was in, or I had a choice to move to another area, another direction in my life. And I chose to go to counseling for me. I didn't choose to go for my husband. I didn't choose to go for my friend. I didn't choose to go for my children. I choose to go for me. And guess what? I was okay with that. The one thing I learned is because I was taking care of everybody, because my core is to help people. That is that's my purpose in life. But I wasn't doing it in a healthy way. I was taking care of others, and my health wasn't all that it needed to be. Because I was thinking about my husband, my children, my friends, more so than I was thinking about myself. I know most people want to know if there's a quick recipe on how to remove the mask. I can't say that because the mask that you wear and the mask that I wear or was wearing, we were wearing it for different reasons. I might be wearing or was wearing a mask because I didn't know who I was. Others might have been wearing a mask because they've been violated. And so what that causes for us to hide different things, the different types of pain. Some like to say pain is pain, but I beg to differ. There's some things there again that hit you at your core. When I lost my mom 5 or 6 years ago, I couldn't have prepared myself for that. No matter how much I've sat with others, no matter how much I told them that God is in control and He got you, but that was a thing that broke me here.
Yes.
And it took a long time for me to be okay.
Yes.
I didn't say I was over it, but to be okay. My goodness. The first, if I had to give steps or tools, I just want to give you some tools. I don't want to necessarily tell you how to do it. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, because there again, we're different people. The first thing is being honest with yourself.
Yes.
You have to be honest with yourself, because if you're not honest with yourself, then guess what? There's nothing wrong with you. Because if you're walking around and you're okay,
My God.
then I'm okay.
I'm okay.
You have to ask yourself the hard questions. Why do I do what I do?
That's good.
Why is it that certain personalities bother me? Why is it that every time somebody say this word, it struck something in me? And sometimes when we're trying to be honest with ourselves, we have to go back to those stories.
Yes.
The stories that our mom told us, or our dad told us, or a sibling told us, because it helps us to begin to understand who we are. Now, because DNA is what it is, it's DNA. And those things are cast down and they transition over to you. So if my mom had a hot temper, and my dad had a hot temper, and my sister does too, but I don't have a hot temper, because you know what? I stuff. And so if I stuff everything within me, then all of a sudden I blow up. I don't consider that being a hot temper, because you know what? I wasn't doing that on a consistent basis. I held on to it. But at the end of the day, it's still the same thing.
Still the same thing.
You have a hot temper. You need to deal with that anger.
That rage.
Whatever it is within you. And also, too, in that whole process, take a look in the mirror and ask yourself the question, who am I? And if you don't know who you are, it's always good to start with,